One of my favorite stand-up comedians, Frankie Boyle, I don't know if you've heard of him, once said that Donald Trump looks like someone playing a president in a porn film, which was, as far as I'm concerned, one of the most accurate assessments of his presidency I've ever heard. What makes Donald Trump, out of all people, or should we say, out of all right-wing politicians, a particularly suitable hero for the QAnon saga?
That's a great question, and it's something I think we need to start reckoning with now as we start this sort of endless death march to the
Right.
2024 election. Trump really came to political prominence not because of any ideas that he had or any particular ambitions, but because he was a conspiracy theorist. He, made his bones politically by questioning whether Barack Obama was born in the United States.
Right.
And that was enormously appealing to a lot of people. The birther movement had already been around for a while. It had picked up a lot of very fringe, very far right influencers, but it wasn't acceptable in kind of polite, moderate society. And then here's Trump, and he's saying all of this stuff. He's secretly Muslim. He wasn't born in the US. Where's his birth certificate? It immediately becomes a license to kind of say whatever you want. And Trump crafts himself as the outsider candidate who is willing to say what everybody else is just thinking. And so he becomes this kind of figure for whom he becomes your mouthpiece. He becomes your spokesperson. And that was really appealing for a lot of people who felt very marginalized, who were, very traumatized by the idea of America electing a black president whose middle name was Hussein. A lot of people just couldn't deal with it. And as the Tea Party movement started to burn out in 2010 and 2011, a lot of the people who were part of that movement saw somebody in Trump who kind of threw off the last vestiges of respectability. And a lot of these people just decided, hey, this guy's my hero. This guy, I'm going to put all my chips on this guy. And if he becomes president, hey, I'm going to become just like him because he's an outsider and I want to be an outsider. And it was this sort of aspiration and these hopes and dreams all bound up together in this one guy who really couldn't care less about most of the people who voted for him.
Also, I mean, the man's a billionaire from New York, and he used to be friends with the Clintons, if I'm not mistaken.
Right,
as well,
and Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, right.
So, he has ties to the Rothschilds, which I talk about in my next book. Oh yeah, he when the Trump Taj Mahal was going bankrupt in the early 90s, it was Rothschild Inc. who helped restructure his deal and helped him get out of debt. But you don't hear that stuff from his fan base because they'll just ignore anything.
Okay.
They don't want to be true.
Right. So people who believe in QAnon, they simply brush aside this. They don't talk about
it at all.
Links to Jeffrey Epstein. They just gloss over it, or do they justify it in some way?
They justify the Epstein stuff in particular was, he was working for the FBI. You actually heard this around the time of Jeffrey Epstein's suicide. You heard like Trump was like secretly undercover giving information to the FBI that helps bust Epstein. You look at those pictures, he doesn't look like he's having a good time. He looks disgusted by all of it. Like, really? But you'll tell yourself anything because you don't want to believe the worst things about this man who you have decided is your hero.
All right. Thank you to my lovely patrons, Taichi, Carmen, and Veronica. Thank you for your support. You're amazing. If you want to support Eurotrash too, you can do that. Just go to Patreon and find me there. All right. Thanks again.